Good evening, Dr. Rod and classmates. For this session, I will be one of your presenters, and I am Miss Monique Rivera, and I will be presenting Miss Education of the Filipino by Renato Constantino. About the author, who is Renato Constantino? So he is a Filipino nationalist, journalist, and historian known for being part of the leftist tradition of Philippine historiography. Apart from being a historian, Constantino was also engaged in foreign service, working for the Philippine Mission to the United Nations and the Department of Foreign Affairs. For our objectives, first, we will discuss education in the Philippines as an instrument of American colonial policy. Second, understand the effects of miseducation to the country's current educational system. And lastly, to appreciate Filipino education. But before we formally begin with our discussion, I have a trivia. Did you know that Philippine education gets the biggest chunk of the national budget? So according to the Republic of the Philippines, Department of Budget and Management, President Duterte signs 4.1 trillion for 2020 national budget. And the social services sector accounts for the largest bulk of the budget at 1.495 trillion or 36.5% of the national budget to fund human capital development programs in education, health, and social protection. Classmates, do you have any idea on the cost or budget allocated in education? Okay. So actually it is 692.6 billion. Take note, classmates. 692.6 billion pesos. And there are different issues and concerns that our educational system are still facing. And one of those is the recent issue wherein 370 million vehicles were purchased during the time of pandemic. Yet, they cannot even provide the basic needs of distance learning. Ayan po. Ang dami po. So, in my personal point of view, I think it would be better if they could have purchased laptops instead of expensive cars and give it to the learners. So imagine if we're going to compute 370 million and let's say a laptop costs 20,000 pesos per unit. So classmates, let's try to compute 370 million divided by 20,000. Ilan kaya ang mapagbibigyan ng laptop? So let's wait for a while in order for you to compute it. Okay. So if your answer is 18,500, so that is correct. So imagine guys, no? Sobrang dami ng mabibigyan ng laptop. So I am not against the Department of Education. I am just stating facts and my opinion in this issue. So maybe they are the products of miseducation, or should I say they are miseducated, okay? So you might ask me, what is miseducation? So according to Merriam-Webster, miseducation refers to poor, wrong, or harmful education. And actually, in the article of Renato Constantino, he was able to thoroughly discuss how Philippine education was part of American colonialism. Because education has a vital role in spreading nationalism. And that nationalism became the dominant note in education, and countries began to establish their own educational system to help achieve their national goals. Nationalism recognized that an efficient national system of education would promote national goals. So what is this nationalism in education? So in recent years, there have been national stirrings which were crystallized and articulated by the late Claro M. Recto. There were appeals for the correction of the iniquitous economic relations between the Philippines and the United States. For a time, Filipino businessmen and industrialists rallied around the banner of the Filipino First policy. So what is this Filipino First policy? So this is the policy that dictates Filipinos would have preference over non-Filipinos in receiving foreign exchange. In line with the policy, Garcia pledged that his administration would assist Filipino entrepreneurs to make ventures in industries dominated by non-Filipinos. In the field of art, there have been signs of a new appreciation for our own culture. Indeed, there has been much nationalist activity in many areas of endeavor, but we have yet to hear of a well-organized campaign on the part of our educational leaders for nationalism in education. But the issue is, almost most of our educators are engaged in a lively debate on techniques and tools for improved education, but not one major educational leader has come out for a truly nationalist education. Of course, some pedagogical experts have written on some aspects of nationalism in education. However, no comprehensive educational program has been advanced as a corollary to the programs for political and economic emancipation. And majority of our educational leaders, however, still continue to trace their direct lineal descent to the first soldier teachers of the American Invasion Army. They seem oblivious of the fact that the educational system and philosophy of which they are the proud inheritors were valid only within the framework of American colonialism. The educational system introduced by the Americans had to correspond and was designed to correspond to the economic and political reality of American conquest. So we are taught to be good colonials. And the most effective means of subjugating a people is to capture their minds. Military victory does not necessarily signify conquest. As long as feelings of resistance remain in the hearts of the vanquished, no conqueror is secure. This is best illustrated by the occupation of the Philippines by the Japanese militaries during the Second World War. Despite the terroristic regime imposed by the Japanese warlords, the Filipinos were never conquered. Hatred for the Japanese was engendered by their oppressive techniques, which in turn were intensified by the stubborn resistance of the Filipino people. Japanese propagandists and psychological warfare experts, however, saw the necessity of winning the minds of the people. So the introduction of American public school system in the Philippines was the conviction of the military leaders that no measure could so quickly promote the pacification of the islands as education. And how about for the beginnings of colonial education? The education of the Filipino under American sovereignty was an instrument of colonial policy. The Filipino had to be educated as a good colonial. Young minds had to be shaped to conform to American ideas. Education served to attract the people to the new masters and at the same time to dilute their nationalism, which had just succeeded in overthrowing a foreign power. The introduction of the American educational system was a subtle means of defeating a triumphant nationalism. The importance of education as a colonial tool was never underestimated by the Americans. This may be clearly seen in the provision of the Jones Act, which granted the Filipinos more autonomy. Although the government services were Filipinized, although the Filipinos were being prepared for self-government, the Department of Education was never entrusted to any Filipino. Americans always headed this department. And what are the goals of American education? So first, the educational system established by the Americans could not have been for the sole purpose of saving the Filipinos from illiteracy and ignorance. The Filipinos had to be trained as citizens of an American colony. Philippine education was shaped by overriding factor of preserving and expanding American control. And as an instrument of colonial policy, there was the decision to use English as the medium of instruction. And this is the start of miseducation in the Philippines. So, English as the medium of instruction. English became the wedge that separated the Filipinos from their past and later was to separate educated Filipinos from the masses of their countrymen. English introduced the Filipinos to a strange new world. And with American textbooks, Filipinos started learning not only a new language but also a new way of life. Also, Filipinos had to be disoriented from their nationalist goals because they had to become good colonials. So if you are still listening, kindly type miseducation. Okay. Thank you for all the responses. So this is the question. What then are the nationalist tasks for Philippine education? So first, education must not be seen as an acquisition of information, but as the making of a man so that he may function most effectively and usefully within his own society. Second, education cannot be divorced from the society of a definite country at a definite time. And lastly, there is a big gap between the Philippines and America, yet we have patterned our education to them. So we really need to examine our educational system. So these are the salient points in the article of Renato Constantino. So education was established based on the American framework by the Americans, not just for the purpose of educating the Filipinos, but also to preserve and control our country. The American instituted educational system that is geared towards subjugating the minds of Filipinos for colonial mentality while promoting passivity to inhibit the contestation of American hegemony in the Philippines. And the new economic emancipation and assertion of political sovereignty pushed our educators to re-examine education's general approach, values, and philosophy. So for our conclusion, the education of the Filipino must be a Filipino education. It must be based on the needs and goals of the nation and not on the goals of others' nation. So let me end this presentation with a quotation by Renato Constantino. No matter how you fabricate achievements, glorify events, or conceal truths, a true people's history will eventually unmask the fake heroes and the judgment on them will be harsh and severe. So that's the end of my report. Thank you for listening and have a good night.